Just lift and roll your shoulders. And start from swaying side to side. And then gradually start to slow the movement down. Come to standing. Lift and roll your shoulders. And breathing in, raise your arms up. Clasp and reverse. Press your feet down and your palms up to the ceiling. Breathing out, go to the left. Breathe into the center, and breathing out, go to the right. Breathe into the center, breathing out, turn to the side. Come to the center, and breathing out, turn to the other side. And come to the center. Breathing in, lift your heels and test your balance today. And then breathing out, lower the heels and lower the arms to shoulder height. Breathing out, turn your head to the left, into the center, and breathing out, turn your head to the right. Come back to the center. Turn your palms up and almost your little fingers behind you, opening other energy meridians, and then turn your palms back. Lower your arms, lift and roll your shoulders, and then clasp your hands behind you, aiming your knuckles to the ground to open you up at your chest level, uplifting for the mood. Just breathe in and out. Lift your hands a little way away from your bottom, and breathing out, turn to the left. Come to the center and breathing out, now this time turn to the right. And come to the center. Release your hands, lift and roll your shoulders. And breathing in, just raise your right hand, using your left to support you as you come over. Breathing into the center and lowering your hands. And this time, raise your left arm, turning the arm to the inside, and come over to the right. And then coming up and lowering your hands. Breathing in and breathing out, bring your hands to your heart center. Breathing in, raise your hands up, you can separate them. And then hands together, the palms together, bringing your hands down through the heart center. And carrying on down as you bend your knees and bend your elbows, touching your fingertips to the ground. Breathe in as you lengthen your spine, which will mean straightening your legs a little bit. Breathe out as you bend your knees, slightly soften your elbows. And then breathing in as you press your feet to the ground and roll up to standing. Breathing in, hands up, stretch your fingers, and breathing out, hands down. And repeat that again as we bring the hands to the heart center. Press the palms together. Breathing in, circling the arms up. Either just stretching your fingers up where you can touch palms. But either way, now touch your palms together as you bring back through the center. Rolling down. Hands touch the floor. Breathing in, lengthen your back. Breathing out, soften, bend in. And then breathing in, press your feet down to the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Hands up, looking ahead or up, depending on your neck, and then breathing out, hands down. And last time, hands together. Breathing in, circle your hands up, stretch your fingers. Palms now together, through the center. Soften your knees, your elbows are bent as you come down to touch your fingers to the floor. Breathing in, as you lengthen along your spine, and breathing out as you soften your knees, soften your elbows, press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra. Hands up, palms together at the heart center, and then come to tabletop position in your own time, coming to knees and hands onto the ground. And typical cat-cow, just start to sway your bottom from side to side. Come to the centre, and then breathing in, dip your back in classic cat, looking either up or along the mat. Breathing out, round, chin comes to chest, cow. Breathing in, dipping your back. And breathing out, round, chin to chest, cow. And last time, dipping your back, cat. Breathing out, chin to chest, cow. Bring your back to neutral, you're still in tabletop, and turn your right hand around so that the fingers face your knee. And just begin to make small circles with your bottom. Or if circles don't feel good, just sway your bottom in a U shape, a shallow U shape from side to side. The aim here is to feel the reverse effects of your hand pointing in the opposite direction. And then release your right hand and come back to tabletop, swaying your bottom from side to side. And then turn your left hand around so that your left fingers face towards your knee. And then make little circles with your bottom in one direction. And make little circles with your bottom in the other direction. And then turn your palm around and bring your both hands back to tabletop. And now tuck your toes and come for a nanosecond to plank. So you might want to extend your feet behind you. You're in a straight line, your heels are up. And then come with your knees back to the ground. Keep your knees where they are so that there's a line between your knees and your hips. And walk your hands forward so that you come into puppy pose. Bottom up, you're getting into your thoracic area of your spine. Your elbows are on the ground. And take a couple of breaths while you're here. Even in this position, you can still engage your perineum and you can still engage your lower abdominal muscles back towards the spine, so you are engaging your core still. And then gradually lift up, come to tabletop, tuck your toes, and come into your first soft downward dog. Feel free to move your feet wider apart. And once you're in your dog, you can walk the dog by bending one knee and then bending the other knee. You can sway your hips from side to side. And again here, just focus on bringing it up the perineum slightly and slightly bringing your tummy back towards your spine. So again, a soft core engagement. Then bend both knees, lengthen along your spine, your bottom's high, and straighten your knees a little bit. And then soften your knees as you walk your feet to your hands and your hands to your feet. And when you get there, just soften your knees, bending them, and just support your torso on top of your knees. Hands lightly touch the ground for an in and an out breath before you gently roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lift and roll your shoulders when you've got there. And then bring your hands out, cross your right arm over your left and palms together. Bring your elbows forward away from you and then lift your elbows up slightly. There would be a diamond potentially that you can look through just below your wrists, and then breathing out, lower your elbows, unravel your arms, just circle your wrists in one direction and circle them in the other direction. And then hands out again, so it's left over right, hands together, diamond, just lift your elbows away from you and lift up. Eagle arms, stretching across the back. And then just unravel. Shake your hands out. And then this one for release, which is just join in. If you remember, hands up and back and cross, up and back and cross the other way. And we'll just do a few of those. It's releasing lots of tension, working on the liver and gallbladder. So, and if you go wrong, which I think I just have, don't worry about it. And then just swing your arms from side to side. Lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, raise your hands up, either looking ahead or up. Breathing out, swan dive, bend your knees. Fingers touch either the floor or your shins. Lengthen along your spine. And then bend your knees. Roll up, vertebra by vertebra. Hands up. Lower your hands. Come to the top of the mat. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up. Breathing out, bend your knees, roll down, hands touch the ground. And then step back with your right foot and then your left foot in plank. Bend both knees to the ground in tabletop. You can keep your toes tucked under, opening your lung meridians as you bring your bottom towards your heels, stretching out your hands. And then come back to kneeling with your toes still tucked. Come into a downward dog. Walk the dog. Widen your feet if you need to. And now I'm going to lift up my right foot, but in order to do that, I bring my left foot slightly to the centre of the mat and slightly in. I then lift my right leg and I extend my right heel. I soften my left leg, my left knee, look to the space between my two hands, and then swing my right leg forward. Secure my balance, I turn out my left back foot, press down on both feet as I roll up vertebra by vertebra and place my hands on my waist. So you might not feel very balanced, in which case adjust by bringing your right foot out to the edge of the mat. And your back left foot can either be staying flat on the floor, or if you have the need to turn to the front more, you can lift your back left heel or just adjust your back left foot. And then breathing in, warrior one, raise your hands up, soften your right knee, stretch your fingers. Take an in and an out breath here, looking either ahead or up, depending again on your neck capacity. And then breathing out, lower your arms and turn to the side, so I'm turning to my right for warrior two. And you'll see that I'm sliding my left foot back. Looking beyond my fingers of my right forward hand. And then dropping my back left hand, lifting my right hand looking at my right thumb, coming back to warrior two, and then resting my right hand on my right inner leg and cartwheeling my left hand over, back down to the ground. Let both hands now come to the ground. Pivot on your back foot and step back to your plank pose again in a straight line. Bend your knees and bring your knees to the ground. And then bring your bottom with your toes tucked under towards your heels, stretching your arms out in front. Come back to kneeling. Keep your toes tucked under and then lift up into a downward dog. Walk the dog. Adjust your feet. And then we're going to be bringing the left foot forward. So I'm going to step my right foot slightly into the centre and forward, lifting my left leg up, extend my left heel, look to the space between my hands, and I'm stepping through with my left foot between my hands. Secure my weight by turning my back right foot out, and then press both feet down as I come up into hands on the waist and modified warrior. Take the time to adjust your feet. Your left foot can go out to the side. You can turn your back right foot and lift the heel if you want to, and then come into warrior one, softening the front left knee. All warriors are grounding and strengthening for the body. Not that we're at the osteoporosis stage, but they're also uplifting for the mood, so antidepressing. And then come to turn to the left into your warrior two, softening your front left knee. Make any adjustments to your feet that you need to. Look beyond the fingers of your left hand, and then drop your right hand behind you and raise your left hand up towards the ceiling, looking upwards. A mindfulness exercise as you disconnect the brain from stress centres. And then come back to warrior. Bring your left hand or wrist or elbow even to your inside of your left leg. Stretch up and over, and now cartwheel your both hands back down to the mat. Step your left foot back into plank. Straighten your body, heels up, and then bend your knees back down to the earth. And just sway your bottom once more from side to side. And then slide your right knee forward. Slide your left leg back. So you're tucking your left toes under. Turn your left toes to the side so that your left foot's on the ground. And open out to the left with your left hand on your left waist. You can stay there. You can lift your left leg upwards and extend your left heel. You can stay with your hand on your waist. You can lift your left hand up or go back to the waist. And then finally, you've got the option of holding your left ankle and lifting back with your left knee, so you're stretching the front of your leg, which is where all your white blood cells are manufactured in the marrow of that bone, or a large proportion of them. And then release your leg gently, come back to all fours. Just wave your bottom gently from side to side. And then slide your left knee forward. Your right leg slides back, tucking your right toes under, and then turning your right foot out. And then turning to the right. Your right hand can be on your right waist, opening out. You can have your hand on your waist, or you can raise your hand upwards. Optional. You can optionally lift your right foot off the ground, extending your right heel, hands on the waist or up, and then you can slide your hand down to take hold of your right ankle and just pull back. So it's like a modified dancer's pose with huge benefits to your immune system. And then basically release that leg and come back to kneeling. And then just sway your bottom from side to side. Tuck your toes. Come into downward dog. And then walk your feet, bake steps, up towards your hands towards your feet. Press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing.
Hands up, stretch up, and then lower your hands.
Come with your feet together, palms together at the heart center, bend your knees and turn. I'm going to turn with my hands bent to my left, so that I secure my right elbow on the outside of my left leg. So it's a form of twist. So this is a question of do as I say, not as I do. So if you're really turning, your hands should be at the heart center, which is a real turn. So that's not necessarily to do, but to aim for. Chin tucks in, and then just release out of that. Press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra.
To standing, hands up, stretch your hands up, and then bring your hands together once more at the heart center, bending your knees, and then turn to the right so that your left elbow secures or hooks, supports your turn to the right. Press your palms down and feel that you're aiming your hands towards your chest center, which is quite hard. Take an in and an out breath. Come out of that, press your feet down into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Breathing in, hands up, stretch up. Breathing out, roll down.
Step back, keeping your legs high into plank, right foot, left foot, you're in plank. Bring your knees to the ground and come to lie on your tummy and stretch your hands out in front of you. Just bang the tops of your feet on the mat, again connecting to the lymph system, the reflexology on top of your feet. Then slide your hands back into Sphinx, elbows on the ground. Take an in and an out breath. Slide your hands back even more, elbows in into Cobra. Come onto your knees into up dog, looking either up or along the mat. Again, depends on your neck. And then come back to tuck your toes. You might like to walk your hands in a little bit more. And then come up to a downward dog again. Keep in downward dog, maybe make it a short dog. And then take your left hand and hold your right shin and look under your right arm. Come back to your short dog and take your right hand and hold your left shin or your left calf. And then look under your left arm. And then walk your hands back, soften your knees, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Raise your hands, thumbs together, as you just rock from side to side. So this is a Vata movement. It's a swaying palm tree, but it's again very good for releasing any excess stored movement. It's very good for a release, but on a slightly different level. And then lower your hands and just once more circle your wrists in one direction.
And circle your wrists in the other direction. And open your hands, fingers, and then just curl them in and flick them out, and curl them in, and then flick them out, and curl them in. Have your hands on your waist, and just breathe in as you turn your head to the left. Breathe out as you turn your head to the right. In to the left, and out to the right, and carry on in your own time. So this very simple pose is opening your lungs on both sides with your hands on your waist. Your neck turning from side to side, of course, reflects a neck movement for you, but your thyroid and parathyroid. It invites the left and right hemispheres, or the right and left hemispheres of the brain to coordinate, to communicate. It becomes a breath exercise. And in turning your head from side to side, it also becomes a mindfulness exercise, because it's hard to think of much else when you're doing this. And then come back to the centre, release your hands at the heart, as we roll down to lie on our backs. Coming to knees bent, feet on the ground, hip width apart. Just adopt, feel comfortable. And then hug your right knee into the chest. Your left foot can stay where it is, but if you particularly want to stretch your left leg out along the ground for a bigger stretch, then please do. And circle your right knee into your chest a few times in one direction. And then circle your right knee into your chest a few times in the other direction. Drop your hands underneath your right thigh and extend your right leg up to the ceiling and extend your right heel. And then circle your ankle a few times in one direction. And circle your ankle a few times in the other direction. Walk your hands up the back of your right leg, bringing your right leg towards you. And if you'd like to lift your face up towards your right leg, extend your right heel, that's an option. You can always drop your hand behind your head. And then breathing out, lower your head back down to the ground. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Extend your right leg out, either keeping it knee bent, foot on the floor, or extending your right leg along the mat as you hug your left knee into the chest. Circle your left knee a few times in one direction. Circle your left knee a few times in the other direction. Supporting your left leg by holding underneath the left thigh, you can clasp your hands as you raise your left leg upwards to the ceiling. Extend your left heel. You don't have to straighten your leg completely. And then optionally you can walk your hands up the back of your left leg, bringing your left leg towards you. And again, optionally lift your head up as you breathe out towards your leg. You can always support your head underneath. And then breathing out, lower your head back down to the ground. And then hug your left knee into the chest. And then hug the right knee into the chest. So that both knees are hugged into the chest as you just gently rock from side to side. Supporting the thighs underneath, place one foot and then the other foot back down to the earth. And hands can either be on the abdomen or palms down on the floor, your choice. Cross your right leg over your left and just sway both knees from side to side. Tummy in, or the abdominal muscles just slightly engaged, perineum engages, and lift both feet off the ground. And slide your hands down, so in fact your left hand will be holding your right shin and your right hand will be holding your left shin somewhere, and just hug both knees into your chest and feel that outer hip stretch. Just take an in and an out breath. And then unravel your legs, place both feet on the ground, knees apart. Just sway your knees from side to side. Your hands can be on your abdomen or on the floor, palms down. And now cross your left leg over your right. Just sway from side to side with both knees. Your hip will lift slightly off the ground. Your hips run. And then gently tummy or lower abdominal muscles engaged, perineum engages, lift the right foot off the ground. Take your hands and slide them down your legs again so that you're holding your ankles or on your shins, and hug the knees into you to feel the stretch on your outer hips. Each side emphasizes the other hip. And so your outer hips are very much part of your lower back problems as much as anything else. It's often a bit that's forgotten about. But if you're in extreme back pain, you often can't cross your legs. So this is just when you're not feeling totally compromised. And then just very gently place your feet back on the floor to unravel the left leg and hug both knees into the chest. Slide your hands down your shins to hold above your ankles so that you're in a kind of supine Baddha Konasana. Your big toes are aiming toward one another, but they won't be touching. And just feel the stretch on your inner thighs, which again connects into your lymph system. You can rock from side to side. And then if you've got the capacity, just hold your big toes and breathing in, extend your feet upwards and outwards so that they look like a V, and just rock gently from side to side. If that's too much for you, you can hold somewhere on your legs, your thighs. If you can hold on to your big toes, then it's quite a nice stretch. Just rocking from side to side. And then bend both knees back in towards you, hugging your knees into your chest. Support your legs as you place both feet on the ground. Your feet perhaps could be slightly wider than hip width apart. Bend your elbows and hold just above your elbows, your arms as you breathe in and just raise them above you. Your backs of your hands might touch the ground, they might not. And then with your arms above you, just sway your knees from side to side. Your knees might touch the ground, your hips lifting, just stretching out. And then come back to the center. Bring your feet slightly in towards hip width apart again. Lower your arms. Back down alongside you. You might like to press your feet into the ground just to adjust your lower back. And then just take your fingers of either your right or left hand to your third eye, centre of your forehead, and just gently circle with the palms, flats of your second and third, or third and fourth finger. Just make little circles around your third eye in one direction. And then release. And then hug the knees into the chest, rocking from side to side once more, and come to very gently roll either up or roll to the side, to the right, to come to a cross-legged seated position. Palms resting on your knees, palms either up or down, your choice. And we'll come back to breathing in, turning the head to the left, breathing out, turning the head to the right, into the left, out to the right, in to the left,
and out to the right, into the left and out to the right. Just carry on a couple of times in your own breath. Come to the centre. Take a moment to have a thought for the day, for yourself or anybody close to you, and mentally repeat that thought or intention for the day a couple of times to set your intention. And then just bring your focus to your nose, your nostrils, and as you breathe in, imagine breathing in to a point in the centre of your head, and then breathing out from the centre of the head all the way down through the body, taking with your out breath anything that you don't want today and letting it leave through the soles of the feet back to the earth. Bringing your attention back to the nostrils as you breathe in to the centre of your head, and like an internal shower, mist the exhalation down through your body, gathering up anything that's not serving you today and let it leave through the soles of the feet. And for your third breath, you can optionally include a coloured air that you breathe in through your nostrils to a point at the centre of your head. And let that breath permeate down, taking with it anything you don't want today, anything that's not serving you, out through the centre of your feet. And then, like cotton wool or candy floss, wrap yourself in your coloured air all the way around, top, bottom, like an auric egg, protecting you for the day. Only positive things can come in. Bring your chin to your chest to take a bow for yourself. And thank you very much for joining me today.